Well, maybe going on outside.
Okay, Siyata Dishmaya. Two things I want to say. Number one is, the Mishnah says, Shloish Aisha Niknes Aisha Niknet Beshalosh Drachim. 3, Lemiute. It says also, V'niknes Konatza V'shnei Drachim. Lemiute Mai. So, V'yol the Reish Lemiute Chupa. Rashi says, which Chupa? Shimosro le'av lechupa l'shem kiddushin en mekudesh v'gach. If the father gave over the daughter for chupa and said kiddushin, she's not mekudeshes. Question is why Rashi said a case that the father gave over the girl to chupa. So the Pnei Yoshua says because that's the pasuk. The pasuk says it's beating a tadin shazeh. He's talking about the chupa. The mekoyer of Nisuim, the mekoyer, the source of chuppah in the Torah is when the father gives over his daughter to someone. It's beating a sati, I gave over. Leishazeh. That's chuppah. Giving over the daughter to the husband, that's chuppah. And that's what Rashi brings down, the original case. In Mosro Alei Aviyah. They really love Dafka, even if she's above father, because she's already boigeres. So then still there's chuppah.
That's why Rashi says that.
That's a Pnei Yeshua. Yeshua says, Rashi says why the father gave over, but that's the class, that's the Mekoyer, that's the source of chuppah.
Okay.
Typical case of the posuk, But the Makna has a whole different world. The Makna says that when the father gives over the daughter of the chuppah, since his intention is only if he gives over Kiddushin, his intention that it won't be bia. Or not, because he can coin the isha because of bia. The chuppah can be bia. But if the father gives over his daughter for the sake of Kiddushin, means he doesn't want it to be that mitzat bia. So Melo is not part of bia, it's a different kinyan. If it's the woman itself, she's above 12 and a half years old, she's above 12 and she gives over herself a chuppah, so the husband can bring her into his domain, and many types of kinyan. It can be also bia. So you can say bia is not excluded because it's part of the kinyan bia of kiddushin. So chuppah bebia is like bia of kiddushin. Chuppah l'shem kiddushin bebia is like bia of kiddushin. And therefore the Rashi had to bring a case. The father gives over his daughter for the sake of chuppah for kiddushin. So then he wants it only to be kiddushin and not be the kiddushay kinyan and not kiddushay bia. And Amud Aleph. Yeah, I just read the Gimel Amud Aleph, the Mute chuppah.
I don't understand.
And chuppah can be kinyan alone, not bia.
Yes.
Why?
Because that's the concept of chuppah. It's also shoes. Could be many ways. Do be as a shoes, or bring it to your house. Yes. He gives over his daughter for this guy. Like chuppah l'shem kiddushin means and not bia, because he wants the kiddushin. Kiddushin will be the suing. It will be bia. It's also be chuppah bebia. Different story, but. That's an adult, but in a girl, when he says, I want it to be Kiddushin, means Kiddushin not necessarily means Chuppah L'Shem Kiddushin is not Bia. This is the word. I didn't see it inside, but somebody read me from inside. I didn't read it. Somebody read for me what it said. What? Yes.
What? But I didn't understand. Like, it's not technical problem.
What?
Here that the father, whatever is the case of the chuppah.
I can't see. Who's this guy there? See?
Yosef Gonzalez.
יוסף, אני לא רואה טוב, אז אני לא מסתכל, מי זה בן אדם? Go ahead. מה, what do you say?
We can explain again this the second opinion.
I said the Makna says that if the father gives over his daughter lechupa. The Shem Kiddushin is without bia. And if the husband will make bia and that chupa is against the heart, yes. The Shem Kiddushin, chupas Kiddushin, if the husband will make bia, so then it will be against the father's voice. So it won't work. So in order to talk about, and if it will be bia, so then it's part of the three kinyonim. So you cannot exclude it. If it's
Why it's against the rights of the father?
because he says, I want the chuppah should be kiddushin. Normally, chuppah does this swing.
Yeah.
If the chuppah is for the sake of kiddushin, so if the woman herself she wants to do chuppah, Hashem kiddushin, so then the husband can make the chuppah with bia.
Oh, nice.
But if the achnosa l'shus through bia, but if the father's giving over the daughter for the sake of chuppah through chuppah al Hashem kiddushin, so his makmi should be only kiddushin and not bia, only kinyan kiddushin but not bia.
Paul says, Mosu Am, Mishishogdu, Mose Chazal, Mose Dachim, Bob says there,
Yes.
the moment is hiding Zoyus. It's a moment you give it to the shoes, if it's only kingdom cast, not hiding Zoyus.
Right.
And when we do this little shoes, Chupa is a hiding Zoyus.
Right.
So be enough kingdom. So what he gains, if you do Chupa, if I remember right, I could see inside clear. If Chupa is Mechayim Zoyus.
In the swing.
There's not even not beer. Mosso, the Gemara Rashi, that now involved there. As you said, Momi Mosso law, it's only Chayim Bezois, even not beer. So see, he will gain. This will be he will gain. There's a match of that.
So when the father says, "I want to be chuppah lekiddush," it means only giving over, not bia.
No, but it means it's Chayim Bezois. So
Okay.
if it's only Kesef.
And this is to explain the Rashi that says, Edo Mukadeshes Pach.
No, she must ola avir lechuppah. Why are you talking about the father gave over?
So when the Mishnah
If she says, "I want to be married through, I want to do kiddushin through chuppah," doesn't come on the father's giving over. So the Yeshua says, but that's the case of chuppah in the Torah. His father gave over his daughter.
That's when she's not 12 and a half in one day old.
Right. That's the case of the Torah. So since that's the case of the Torah, and that's the makoyer of chuppah, so the Rashi brought the classical case of the Torah. Even can be even adult. The Makkah says no, it's not dafka. Dafka ktana when the father gives over Hashem kiddushin, only then the meute we remind it. But if it be ktana giving over herself for chuppah Hashem kiddushin will be through bia, so then we don't exclude it because part of bia.
So when
Part of the three kinyonim with the mission.
It's a Bulgarish. The father still has control over her.
No, finish.
So
Again,
Yes.
when the Mishnah says Aisha Lignet, the Rishon Shalochim.
One second before I answer you, Reuben. What do you mean the father? The father doesn't have a legal control, but chuppah means to give over. Means the woman, the girl leaves her father's home. She goes to the husband's home, and he makes a meal. He brings it to his house. So there's no legal giving over because the father doesn't control his daughter anymore. But she lives in his house, takes care of her until she finds a girl, a husband. So therefore, that's chuppah. Chuppah is giving over the daughter to the husband, to his domain.
I think we have three
We
Chayim.
find that in Rivka. נשאל את הנערה. that no
Yeah.
one says it's asking.
Yes.
But when the Mishnah is beer, and if it's a Bulgarians, so she made two beers, one shot. She makes Kiddushin and Chuppah with the beer.
It's okay. You mean that is Chayim.
No, one is bia l'shem kiddushin, and then there's a chlos al shoes that he brings it to his domain.
Where is he having beer with her? At the street?
No. First, it could be in a hotel, could be on a mutual domain, could be in her house, not necessarily his house. It's not chuppah. The whole concept of the swim is that he brings her into his house. Obviously, when she cooks for him, she does beer, that's part of being in his house.
But
Not visiting his house,
not the
entering the house, she is the house.
It's bringing to the house or the act of the beer, the same chuppah.
Okay, so Machlokes Rishonim, the Rambam says, chuppah without beer is not chuppah. That's why when a girl, she gets engaged and there's no beer because when she gets married, there's no beer because there's a chuppah shenegule beer. The chuppah has no potential to have beer. No, because she's nida. Persa nida. So according to the Rambam, it's not a chuppah. According to the Rambam, when a girl gets married and she doesn't take pills to distance her blood, today we have pills. Years ago, open, suddenly she persa nida. According to the Rambam, it's not chuppah midorais.
Why?
Because the chuppah is to be potential beer.
Okay.
The relationship of chuppah means marriage means you do Kiddushin, you make the kinyan of Kiddushin. And Nisui means, chuppah means you bring it into your house. Chuppah means a canopy. It's just like a beginning through that. I bring you into my house, in my domain. The canopy is mine. And I bring you into my canopy, didn't mean you go into the physical house. What is physical house, the Rambam says? Potential beer. But let's say there's no potential to beer. So it's not a house. Other Rishonim hold no. You don't have to, but she could be later on potential. Right now she's neither, but later on she is. She because it's good. So the chuppah shenegule lebeer is to
I can make Kiddushin and chuppah through beer in the same time.
It's a shayla. It's a shayla. If you open page.
I think I did.
I heard you. If you open, one second, here's my question. Look in the view. Open the view. If you do a mudalef, iboilu, middle of the page. Iboilu. See the two dots in the middle of the page? Iboilu. Yud amudalef. Yud amudalef in the middle of the page.
Yeah, I got it.
Bia, the suimoiso, irusimoiso. When it does bia, makes marriage or makes irusin? Rashi. המקדש בביה, מיאביח ביה כנשואים או אין אוהל כשאר אירוסין. מה נפקא מינה לגמורה says is for שלמה ליורשו ליתם לפון לרעו, יום הנשיאים מויסו יורשו בתם לו קרוב לרעו, יום הזירוסים מויסו, אין יורשו בתם לו לרעו. מאי? אומר רבי. the father, papa. זכאי בביתו בגידושו של רביו, וזכאי מציאות מה זה יודע. ובואו גם איזה גיטו, ואינו יחל פירו לרעו. וניסה, איזה רבה שיחל פירו לרעו, קטוני ביה, וקטוני ניסס. זכאי בקידושי, says קידושי, קשר זה יותר about ביה. Then it says, ניסה, it says רבבל, שהבעל, יסר לו בבעל לא יחל פירו. But if קידושי ביה is נישואים, so what does ניסס later on? It's a separate thing. Moses no. ניסס השום. goes on Keser and Shtar, not on Bia. Omar Rov Toshma. Basho Mecho Mekulim Miskadesh Bia. In Bo Leo Yavom Kno, Gamal Mishel Shishim Tam Boalo. The time Jordan, Vim Nises the Koradua. Vim Bolera. Tony Bia, Tony Nises. And what he come? Ian is in the Koinin or Rebetruma, Toshma. Now Toshma is a long Toshma, all the way to the Vidalev. Goes back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth.
Yeah, that's Kiddushin, no, so much not.
Hier ist der Sumo ist so Shmochi Post. Pshita Danim Rabbi Mikesef. Eli Amos Kiddushin לא so. מה יש לו אוכל בשביל מה שאומר? מה אנחנו לא יודעים לא ביר של איחוד פה בקשר של שאנחנו גם בזוך את ה... יכולים להיס, לא חישור אחרי, אוקיי, גוז, זו ראיה. זה כמו זה זו ראיה. זה זו ראיה, זה סופק.
Doesn't say the Gemara in the book suicide. A moment you do chuppah, basar also yichabe mezaitis. Who said? He says, I remember that. This is the Gemara suicide. It's in Afkimini, the chuppah, the mosor, and the yichabe mezaitis. So it's in Afkimini.
Okay. I see the morning Pasha. So that's your shaila. You want to be a we can do two things in one shot. You hear? What's your name there? Reuven.
Yeah.
There was a doubt if it does two things in one shot or not. Okay. So let's go back to us.
My question is right. Saying right in a moment, you do chuppah, not the shem beer, only shem kiddushin.
Yes. Chuppah l'shem kiddushin.
But not for beer.
Yes, true chuppah.
The Bible is chuppah is harmonious.
Don't know.
The Gemara, it's the Gemara and then the dog and the
I understand.
But remember,
Normal case is he does chuppah. I was kiddushin. That's chuppah. Chuppah is chayv mezoyles. Here, whatever he did chuppah without kiddushin, and he won't chuppah with kiddush chayv mezoyles. No, good question.
This would be enough giving.
Yeah, I don't think so, but
I think so.
don't think so. They need 12 months. Prepare yourself. No, they did kiddushin, chuppah kiddushin. No 12 months.
But he did the two things together.
Good. So who says he's high? Don't know. I don't think so. It's too quick. Okay, could be, maybe. Kolponim. The Gemara says, so Ravuna that says chuppah konim kavachoymer. Lemutamai. So the number 3 comes to exclude one. Was a lemuta Chalipin. Rashi says which Chalipin? Chalipin kinyan sudo. Kinyan sudo.
Cannot be the other Chalipin.
Cannot be the other Chalipin shov v'shov because there's no value to a woman. What? Right. So why Rashi says Chalipin kinyan sudo?
Only that.
Only that. Not Chalip shov v'shov. What's the hava mean? No hava mean. It's the two sugim. So this is the sugim. Yes. Okay. And the Gemara says, Sakerai dechamin oil v'goma kichim is the Efroin. Maso de mekane mechalipin, afi shena mekane mechalipin, was a hava. Since we learn kesef from the Efroin, kesef by Kiddushin we learn from the Efroin. And so that you can acquire with Chalipin, also who mekane Chalipin. What is this hava? The Gemara is explaining what was the hava. With the hava mean to say that Chalipin is in. That you can marry a woman in case of star will be in Chalipin too. Why? Since we learn kesef from Kirigir is therefore it says the word ki kachishisha. And it says Nasati kesef so the kachimeni by sode. So we're learning kesef from sode to kesef to kiddushin. So let's learn Chalipin by sode, also Chalipin by kiddushin. Why Rashi? Where do we see Chalipin by sode? Rashi says, "Ma sode mikal Chalipin." Says Rashi dechsiv vayishlo ifnahalo v'osam sode avoy. Rashi brings a pasuk in Ruth, Megillas Ruth. It says he took off his shoe. Who was the story? Boaz. He wanted to do yibum to Naomi, right? And he said, I have to do yibum. I also have to.
Root.
I have. Sorry, to
Root.
root. Boaz had to take off. Boaz did yibum to root. And what did he need to do? He need to also goyel the land, the sodom of right? What? So when he took off his shoe, what kind of a Mesikinyan Suda, Vaishlof Nalo, he took off his shoe. Shoe is a kli, a vessel. And with that, he acquired the field of Ploini. So he was goyel the field together with Ruth. He did a queer kind of evil in those days. He was not only wasn't a brother's wife, was any family member that had no children, and the closest member did yibum. So I'm not much yibum, and together with the yibum, he redeemed the land of the dead. So he redeemed the woman, his wife, and redeemed his land. So he was shoylef the nan, he acquired the land through Chalipin. V'osam sode avoi, what? One mice. One mice. Let's see, I'm reading Ruth Dalet. It's the end of Ruth. You have a chok or a less. Let's see, Ruth, okay. It says more here. Upoaz ala asha vayeshev shofini agroel oiver asher diben boyaz. Vayimel su ushvo poi ploini almoini. Ikar asor anoshim, we took 10 people. ויאמר לגויל חלק הששון של אחינו לאלימלך מוכו נעמי השור since Elimelech sold the land אני אמרתי גלה אוזנכו לאמור קנה נא יושבים says you want to marry Ruth, which is the daughter-in-law of Elimelech of Machlon, Kilion, they died. So now they died without children. So we want to marry, do Yibum to Ruth. You have to buy with it most of the land. That's what the Ramban says. In those days, that was the minhag. Even though there's no really Yibum here. They're not brother-in-laws. Brother-in-laws marry a person's brother's wife. A person's brother died with no children, so you do yibum to his wife. Here, Elimelech's daughter-in-law, Elimelech's son died, and his wife stayed without children, and Elimelech sold a land and he has ability to redeem. So a family member, which is who? Boaz, right? Boaz was the son of Salmon and the grandson of Nachshon and the grandson's son of Aminadav, etc. So now, Elimelech died and he sold his land, and his son died too, and his daughter-in-law stayed with no children. So he redeemed the field together with the Yibum kind of the marriage. ויאמר בועז, ביום כונוסכו הסודה מיד נעמי, ומאיסרוס המביא ישמס, כוניסה להקים שם המס הנחלוס. By you redeeming the field, and you do Yibum, should do a complete building of the destroyed name. No. How did he buy it? It says, ויאמר גוי לא אוכל, ligoli penashchis nachlosi. I'll destroy my nachlo. After they said, why? Why by him redeeming who destroys nachlo? But ever he says, Ga'alecho, you should do it. Because the goy was closer than Boaz.
Boy was?
Goel was closer to the family than Boaz. So he had to offer him first. He didn't want. And it says, "V'zois lefnim b'Yisrael agul v'atrumo lekano shola b'shna lo v'nosa l'reiv." Is there an old thing that when I redeem, I give it to more. I give an exchange to establish anything. I give my shoe. That's kind of a sholaf no ishna. The person takes off his shoe and he gives over. That's the tmura. That's the payment of. That's the king and suda of the land. Okay, you're going to do it. Boaz do it, not me. Boaz took off his shoe. You are witnesses that I acquired all that Elimelech had, which means even if his fields that I got lost because he sold, I redeemed it back. Then, together with this, I acquired with this, or maybe another Kenyan, I acquired Ruta Movia Lilisha. להקים שם המלך לא עושה לקרוא שם המלך מהמלך.
אתה מוני פקינג, זה only the רבונו. מה אמר ביבוא
That he bought the land, and together with the land he married a woman. What do you mean that?
כסף ביבוא is the רבונו.
Yeah, but she wasn't a real Yavama.
What?
She was not a real Yavama. It was only a concept of Yavama. Not a real Yavama, because she's not the brother, the Ashes is not the brother-in-law of the mace. It's marrying her. There's a relative, foreign relatives, a lot, there's no Yisur Arayas. And he redeemed the field as if he's bringing the name of the field represents the name of the dead. His field of the dead is lost, means sold. He brings it back to he brings back to himself that when he marries the wife, he has also the assets of the dead. It's as if he's putting up the name of the dead back together with his wife, and he marries her, and he brings children, so then as if the dead has a continuation with his land and children. Not really, no. The Ramban says it's Inyan Ibum. Inyan subject. But anyhow, Rashi quotes by us. Let's see Rashi now in Gemara. Rashi says, "Ma soda mikal Chalipin, a field you acquire with Chalipin, also a woman. The chsiva ishlef nalo, he took off his shoe. Also soda hoi, there was soda. She took off with his shoe, and he said, "Vegam konisi lilisha, gam et ruta movia eshmach konisi lilisha. I also acquire her lilisha." So there's a hekesh, or since we learn Kiddushin is there for everybody. So then we see by Ruth Amoravia that Boaz acquired the field of Elimelech, Machor the Kilyon, the husband of Ruth, the family. She redeemed the field with Chalipin, then he married her. But the Ekes is not from Ruth itself. The Ekes is, since we find Ruth, and we can buy land by Chalipin in Suto, Chalipin, there was a field. So therefore, since we learn in Kesef by Kiddushin, from a field, giving him there from Zero Shove. So since by a field we see Baruch, you can buy with Chalipin, maybe a woman, maybe there's a Avim and also a woman will be acquired with Chalipin. A marshmallow, then it doesn't work. The Mishnah says, Shloisha, 3 things, Shloish, not, only 3, not 4. Chalipin is out of the picture. So the Gemara asks, maybe would let him buy, why not? It's a good svara, what? You have a limud. I have a minute, so we have a limud, because and you have a rule, and Gzera Shove lechatzon. You don't have a Gzera Shove halfway. The Gzera Shove for Kesef Kinyan. So then I also learn to go Shove for Chalipin. Right? Let it work. That's the Gemara's kasha. Maybe. Since we learn Xeroshove, Kesef, Kiddushin, we learn from Sode. So I think Xeroshove lechatzon. Let's all the kinyonim in the Sode. Also Chalipin work. We say okay, you said it, but let's also Chalipin work.
Which kind of how you mean to say?
Because the Rosh Yeshiva says that it's.
Yes, the most question. In which states? Explain yourself. And by Sode, you can coin a bekesef, also won bekesef. So that's also my Sode. The kind of Chalipin, like we see in Ruth, also Isha kind of Chalipin. Kamasho, we don't know what's a Kamasho. Kamasho that doesn't. But why not?
It's a step.
Kamasho alone that although there's a svod, there's a Gzera Shove. And in Gzera Shove lechatzoi, most of Chalipin. Kamasho no, it doesn't work. Ve'imochanami. I'm not before, that's a most kasha. Ve'imochanami. Why not? Kamasho. Kamasho means in the shita is not. They'll explain why. Why not? Ve'imochanami means why not? You don't explain to someone now. Now there's no Havan. The Gemara did not reveal the reason. Yeah. Ve'imochanami. More says Ve'imochanami. So the more answers. Chalipin is not Posher Puto. Chalipin can work less than the value of Puto.
Very interesting the answer of Rosh Yeshiva.
Very interesting.
No, why? Because it has no sense. Because when the Mishnah says Aisha needs bekesef and Beit Shammai and then says bekesef tikama, it's if you choose the kesef way to get marry the woman, and then she's gonna be upset if you marry her with Pachot Mishavet Pruto. But if you choose the kinyan of Chalipin, who says that the woman cares Pachot Mishavet Pruto?
Okay, question. So let's see what the Gemara says. Maybe let Chalipin acquired by women. It was not. Chalipin is nayu beposha. Chalipin can be less than Pruto. The Isha beposha Pruto became nafsho. Rashi is the gnayu. It's a gnai. It's a shame. What's a shame? If you marry a woman with a vessel, it's less than valuable. So it may work for Chalipin. Buy a field, buy a field, but you cannot buy a woman. Why? It's a gnai. It's a shame for her to use this type of kinyan, which this kinyan doesn't work from the value of it, works on a Maisa kinyan. And since the Maisa kinyan can be also less a like clean, that type of kinyan is a bizarre for her.
So even if he's married him with the Chalipin, and he says, "You married me through Chalipin,"
Since Chalipin is less Pruta, so it's a bizoyan, it's a shame for the words. Let's see two Rashis.
Chalipin.
Yes.
Chalipin, and then acquires my fee of $1 million, not married. Why? Because you're choosing Chalipin to marry her and to acquire the field, and it's not good.
Yes.
But he's acquiring, she says, I like them, I want the field. No, but the Kenyan is through this Sudan.
Yes.
Even if I'm giving you the house in the Beverly Hills, she's not married. It's a deny to pay Kiddushin, but she's happy to acquire this house in Beverly Hills.
Why it's a house?
Because he's using the Chalipin to acquire her.
Right.
The house and marry her. Two things.
No, but it's not, he is not two things together.
No, I'm asking, potentially, according to what you are saying here, she won't be married. Why? Potentially, she won't be married because it's ignited.
What's the order? The order is he took Chalipin and he bought a house. For who?
He gave her
The house.
He gave the student that she
that she will do what?
And she says, I married you, and I also acquired you through this Sudan, the house in Beverly Hills.
He does two kinyon. He does two kinyonim with one kinyon. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if two kinyonim works. I don't know if the two things would work on my second. If I want to buy a woman, go to the house. I mean, that Chalipin works without the gnai or with gnai. I'm doing one Maise Chalipin. With that, I want to give her a house. And I want to acquire her. So first we're giving her the house, it's a gift. So the gift is not with Kiddushin.
Yeah, nothing. Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if you can do one kinyan for both. And therefore, just a gift that he gives. I don't know what Chalipin does the Kiddushin. It's a separate thing. You have to do kin with Chalipin. When you do kin Chalipin to marry a woman, even though you gave her many gifts before, we promised her after, yeah, doesn't mean anything. Shaila is when you did Kinyan Chalipin, it's a kinyan, you marry her with the Kinyan Chalipin, it's a kinyan of shame. Is Lo Mekanan Nafsho. Rashi says, it's a gnai, it's a shame for her. Chalipin, I'm reading Rashi. Chalipin is snai with the kaima is established by us. The Perek Hazor, Koinim Bekli, you acquire with a vessel. Afal Pi, even though she in a short point. You acquire with a vessel, even though there's no value. What?
Has to be clear.
Yes.
Now,
What does that mean? When Rashi brings a Makorim, Rashi says the Kaimel was established by us by Bometzir Batnemzai. The Koinim Bekli you can acquire with a vessel. Afal Pi Shel Shavaput, even there's no value. So what's the Makorim here? Why he brings this Makorim? In Dafchet, if you open Dafchet Amud Aleph in Kiddushin, in Dafchet Amud Aleph, Rashi says, by Evedivri, Mikesa Miknosa Mikesa Mikno Ve'eino Niklo Mitzvah Keim. You don't buy Evedivri with Chalipin. Tvur Keli. The Gemara says, Achiko. Beteras Kesef Nikna Ve'nikna. Beteras Kesef Nikna Ve'nikna Beteras Tvur Keli. My new Chalipin. Tvur Keli is Chalipin. רב נחמן לא מהפרש עבד חליפין, לא לא מדלס משהו בפוטו, וכאמרס מהיר את הוא כאילו אפילו כסף נמי, לא בואי קומה. לא אם בואי כסף דיס משהו בפוטו, איני לא לא. עדבור וכלים, אימן מקדקר והנוסוי, גומר ענק נפשי. ממש ולא, that Chalipin doesn't work, even though it's מקר והנוסוי, doesn't work, because the teres says, מכסף מקנוסוי, and כסף means, למעט, Chalipin. Even the caravan. So buy an Eved. 1 second. Too many words, right? Okay. In Dafchet we see that by Even Ivri, there's a posuk, extra word, yitu, to say kesef, we can also only with kesef and not with Chalipin. The Moses says, what's the Avamina? If it's Shobe Pruto, it'll be work, it's at kesef. Since Chalipin works less than Shobe Pruto, even though it's Mekaravano, even though the Ano is closed because it's food, it's vessel, Mekarva Anatayu. So therefore, Goma Umakanafshis, the evidence wants to be acquired with Mekaravano. Anything with Ano is closed.
Even though that is called.
They even wants it. Rashi says, Mesumonim leheno ismehem. So that's what Torah says, no, although it's Mesumonim, yet Evedivi can only be acquired or redeemed with money, and not with Chalipin. Yes. Okay. Now.
So you are with only kesef is what? By the
Yes.
It's freedom.
So by Evediv, it is a mute, a direct mute exclusion that Chalipin doesn't work. Here the Gemara says, who says that Chalipin will not work by Kiddushin? Let the Gzerosho V'Kirgim is therefore not only teach you Kesef, teach you Chalipin. Gemara says, no, since Chalipin is not Bosho Pruto, what do we know that Chalipin can be less than Shabbat? So Rashi says the Kaimalon is established by us, and B'Mitzir of Memzayin, Koinim B'Kli can acquire with a vessel, Alpha Tisha and Shabbat. So let's see the Gemara Mitzir. Let's see Gemara Mitzir. Gemara Mitzir, page 47. I don't have you one. Don't see here, Mitzir. No, Mitzir. Oh, Mitzir, who can bring me a Mitzir? I don't see here. Yeah, Mitzir. Mitzir 47, let's see. Mitzir Mem Zayin, Amud Aleph. Mem Zayin, he says, establish Kaimalon and Mitzir Mem Zayin, that you can acquire with a vessel less than Shabbat Muto. Because in the Torah says in Ruth, it says a Sholaf Ishnar. Now, normally a shoe is worth definitely more than Shabbat Muto. A shoe is worth a lot, right? It says that they sold Yosef for 20 kesef ba'avur min ha'alayim. Shoes. In shoes is 20 kesef. It's thousands of prutos, right? Right, it's about 4,000 prutos. So how do you say that how do we know that Chalipin is less than Shabbat? 1 second, he says, look at Mitzir Mem Zayin Amud Aleph. The Kaimalon. So the Gemara says that the Gemara dashes from apostle. Ketanoi, I'm reading the Gemara. V'zois lefnim Israel. This was a custom from before by the Jewish people. Alagul, when I will redeem. Alatmu, when I want to pay something in exchange as a payment. Payment or redemption. Lekain kodom, or to establish anything. 3 things. Redemption. Tumura means an exchange. Lekain kodom means to establish anything. There's a very thing in the Jewish people, an old thing, custom in the Jewish people. What do? Sholaf, Ishna, or somebody takes off his shoes, but no salary he gives his friend. Gaulos and Bachura, and the girl, Tumura of Chalipin. When I said the word Tumura means Chalipin. And Chalipin you do with Sholav Ishnalo. How do we know Tumura is Chalipin? It says, Lo Yachlifenu, Lo Yamerito Chalipin. Lekain kol dovo sholav ishnalo sarei. Mi nos alemi. Who gave who? So Machlokes. Boaz, Nosan the Goyel, this Boaz, which is the redeemer, the buyer, gave Goyel, that he exchanged from him, I'm buying the field. Rabbi Yehuda Goyel Nosan the Boaz.
Which direction the transaction is going.
Tanoi, the most Machlokes Tanoi. They know what. We learned in the Braisa. The Jewish bring is a Braisa, Kiddushin Yud Gimel. They call this Gmor Kiddushin. Koinim Bekli can acquire with a vessel. Afal Pi v'no shet shom b'puto Omar Rav Nachman. V'shonu Bekli, aval b'peir Eloi, Rav Shesha Bar Afilu b'peiros. My time in Rav Nachman. How does Rav Nachman know that by a Kli to be even less than Shom b'puto? So Rav Nachman says, it says the word Na'alo, Na'ali, it says your shoe, only shoe, Midachinelo, nothing else. So if it's a shoe, it works with fruits, anything else doesn't work. My time in the Rav Shesha that says even payrolls, says L'kaim kol dovo, to establish anything, all things. The Rav Nachman says L'kaim kol dovo, Ahu L'kaim kol dovo nigim b'mina. You can acquire everything with a shoe. Rav Shesha says Nam yaksiv v'na'aloi, says no, Omar le'manalo dovo mesuyam, kodom mesuyam, has to be something mesuyam. Sholem has to be complete. Mesuyam means has to be complete vessel. Lafu kechetzi rimo and mechetzi goes to Lord. The Gemara doesn't bring the source; it just bring a price. So that's what Rashi says. Rashi didn't have a puzzle. There's no puzzle. He just says the kaim of Perek Hazor, poinim bekli al rishon v'chuto. You acquire the best of the rishon. Tana, we learned in the price. It doesn't say what's the makor. No, the question is kli or peros. What's the makor? How do we know kli not peros is kind of kondovo? Follow. But how do I know in the now that it's even less than Shabbat Put?
That's the question.
Still, I don't know, we don't have.
What?
We still give the answer. We don't have an answer.
According to Rav Nachman, Chalipin can only work the Kli unless it's Shabbat, but other things that Kli doesn't work even though they're worth a lot. Ashes afilu shove arbe, even though it's worth a lot.
Maybe because if you want to pay for one shoot, nobody's gonna pay money for that.
Everybody agrees. I understand. Everybody agrees.
Toises is vin toimar. It says v'nosan lereyu, and by Hekdesh we say v'nosan lakoynes hakodesh. Then the sin of Pamasha Puto, Hanamik Sivan of Salaray. Since he gives the shoe to somebody else, giving the shoe, we learn in by Hegdesh that as the piece of the Puto. So why here, when it's in Salaray, we say in Pamasha Puto? So he says, the also man Tashlum should go to Hegdesh. There it's a payment where I stole. He can establish a Puto. It cannot be less than Shabbat Puto because there's no Meila there. Come on, Meila, they have Tashlum, but payment is a piece of the Puto. But giving a shoe, it's to your friend. The only sinas moment is not a payment of money. Just a ma'asekinyan. Cannot somebody order to get, giving over a get. But the sinas get, when I'm giving a get in that moment. Also here, the nosan ishnal, the Gemara understands, it's not a giving of payment, it's a giving of a ma'asekinyan. Symbolic, right? So Maisakin, so therefore it's the Maisakin, but let's give me less as long as it's clean.
That's a good right.
It goes through all the lashonas of what does it mean, the word Mosa. So there's no really a makoyer, there's no real source, a posuk clearly. It's a brayse, it's a mishnah. They also quote this brayse also in page 13. Page 13, if you open our Kiddushin, Masechet Kiddushin, there's a brayse too. Very strange. Why Rashi had to bring from Bombetzia page 47 when the Gemara and Dafyud Gimel brings it? This brayse. The answer is probably because no, but the source is there. We don't know that's the halach.
With his pain or clean. Everybody agrees.
Abraham, Imo says, Niknes Rosh Puto Malekitani Bechalipin. The Tana Kohen Bekli Rosh Puto, which means you do acquire a woman with Chalipin, less Rosh Puto. It's a maskono, yes. It says, Keshem Sheni Sheni Reposh Rabutek. Kachen Kaka Niknes Reposh Rabuto. Omulei Vatana Vamisho Shabbat Pishain Isho. Niknes Rosh Rabuto Kaka Niknes Reposh Rabuto, which means they found a price that says that even though you don't buy a woman with less Rabuto in land, but she can acquire a woman less Rabuto. The Moshe says that's talking about Chalipin. They bring the Braise in that's brought on Bometzia, page 47. You can acquire with a vessel, even though and they will talk about not Isha, Stam in general, Chalipin. So Chalipin can work Lashavuto, so that's what it means a woman, you acquire Lashavuto with Chalipin.
Good, so that means.
No, so we have a Shita that you do acquire a woman with a Chalipin Lashavuto. Probably like Ravuna. Ravuna says the number 3 comes to exclude chuppah. But Chalipin, Chalipin works. Chalipin is kesef. Even as Ravuna is a vessel, it works. Like we see in the Dafyud Gimel, there's a brayse. There was a sheet in the hole, the brayse in the hole. You can acquire a woman with Chalipin. So it's not a good thing to quote that Gemara. That Gemara is not like ours. But she brings the Mishnah Metzia, page 47, which there we see clearly that's a general source of all Chalipin. Goes in details of Chalipin. That be required with a vessel, not a pegois. It has to be a kli, can be less a shomer bruta. As the Gemara Dafyud Gimel brings his price to be less even by a woman. And that's definitely not the halacha, because the Gemara here says, that a woman cannot be acquired with Chalipin. And Dafyud Gimel, the Gemara holds like Ravuna, that a woman you could acquire with Chalipin. They bring the brayse that says, Kohen Bekli can buy with Chalipin less a shomer bruta. Or says that even a woman, since he when they say that a woman does not acquire with Chalipin, so you have to say, how do we know the Chalipin is Shabbat? It can't be the more Rabbi, because the more Rabbi holds the same thing. We Chalipin works at less Shabbat. You're also going to buy a woman with Chalipin is Shabbat, like Avona. So he has to bring the Gemara on page 47, Bometzia. There it talks about the general dinim of Chalipin. And it says there that you can acquire with Chalipin Sode less with a Kli less Shabbat. Here's the machlokes, and here we're dealing with the side that Chalipin does not work. And why? The mekanan nafsho. So here in Rashi Amud Beis, it's a complicated Rashi. Let's see the Rashi. Daf Gimel Amud Beis. Lo mekanan nafsho. So Rashi says, yes.
And here Chalipin doesn't.
Not like Ravuna, right? Right? Lo mekanan nafsho. Rashi says, Tegnayulo, it's a shame for her. What's shame? Shame to be acquired with less than the value of pruta, or the whole thing is a shame.
Whole thing.
So Rashi says, Ilkach, therefore, boti lo teras chalipin b'kiddushin. The whole chalipin kiddushin is canceled because it's a kinyan of shame, it's a kinyan gnai. Since the kinyan of chalipin can work even less as a pruta, as long as a vessel, so it makes the kinyan, boti lo teras chalipin b'kiddushin means the whole Torah, the whole soup, the whole mean of chalipin is canceled kiddushin. Even the kli even if the vessel has the value of pruta, but I'm using it for the sake of chalipin. If I use the lingua, I use the language of chalipin, I'm giving her a vessel of shava pruta. Vessel of pruta can be shve kesef. What designates the kesef of the kli shava pruta to be kesef or to be chalipin? It's only the language. So if I give kli shava pruta with the language of chalipin, it wouldn't work. Because when I use the language of chalipin, it's a kinyan kanai. Since I use the language of chalipin, and we know the general, the law of chalipin can be less than shava pruta. Now I'm giving shava pruta, it becomes a kanai. You know what the word kanai means? Shame. No, she knows about shame. Would not work when I give her a kli shava pruta. The only one would work if I give her in the Torah of the language of chalipin. Why she says Torah and Loshan? Should be Loshan. So I give a Loshan chalipin. The answer is when I give a Loshan of Kiddushin, it's another Torah, it's another Kiddushin. It's another soup. So you have to say works two sugim. Chalipin is a Maisa Kinyan, and Kiddushin is a Piroin, like the Taz, like the Sma. If Chalipin, it's a Kinyan, and also Kiddushin, like the Taz, Kesef Kiddushin is also Kinyan. So Kinyan A, Kinyan B, what's the difference? The same type of key, but different dini. So if that's true, Rashi should have said, when I give the kli shava pruta, Loshon chalipin is no good. Add when it works, add until the Yoivlo Loshon kinyan. I give the Yoivlo Loshon kinyan kikul kinyan. I didn't say that. So I give it a Teras Loshon. Teras Loshon must be that it was a Loshon of kinyan kesef.
Is not word.
Torah sug Loshon is a language.
It doesn't mean it's a Loshon. Again,
Okay, the din defines a sug. It's an error. But the point is, why do I have to say both? We have a machloikes. We saw what is kesef kiddushin. Kesef kiddushin is a piroy. According to the Tasma, according to the Taz, kesef kiddushin is what? It's the opposite. Rasma holds as shovi, and Taz learns as a kinyan. So I'm saying perfectly. Everybody agrees that by Chalipin is a kinyan. It's not shovi. Chalipin is not the value. Chalipin is a ma'isa kinyan, right? So if Rashi says that the reason why Chalipin doesn't work by a woman because since Chalipin works less than a puto, it's a gnai. So he can the whole deed, the whole sug of Chalipin falls off, and then he spells. If I gave her a kli that has a shova puto, if I give her a language of Chalipin, it's no good. But if I give her a language of kesef, it would work. But then when he says at the Yovlo Loshon Kinyan, he use another extra word. At the Yovlo B'Torah Loshon Kinyan Kikul Kiddushin.
One case she's acquired, and in the other case she's not acquiring that.
I know that, we know that. But we want to know, can we prove from Rashi that Rashi holds that Kesef Kiddushin, it's Kesef Kinyan, or Kesef Kiddushin is Kesef Piroy? So I want to bring a proof to one of the sides. Because since he says that Kinyan Chalipin is a Kanai, and that's why the whole Torah of Chalipin is canceled. And he says, if I give her a vessel of Shava Pruta, if I give less of Shava Pruta, if the vessel of Shava Pruta, it's a Kanai. So it's Chalipin Kanai, Kesef, it's only Shava Pruta. Less Shava Pruta is not Kesef, it's Chalipin. So it's a Kanai. So since Chalipin is ignite, the whole Chalipin is canceled. But what's defined? Chalipin, the vessel, Shabbat Pruta, what's defined as Kesef? One defines it as Chalipin. So the simple answer is language, Loshon, right? I use a Loshon of Chalipin. It's Chalipin, because it's Shabbat Pruta. If it's not Kesef, as Loshon of is not Kesef. So the Loshon, I don't need to say Loshon is Chalipin. Automatically it's Chalipin. Because Kesef, Loshon of is not Kesef. So Kli Loshon of Pruta automatically is, it's not Kesef, it's going to be Chalipin. But if it's vessel, it is Shabbat Pruta, it could be two options. It could be Kesef, it could be Chalipin. What defines it as Kesef, what defines Chalipin? Loshon. That's good. But Rashi doesn't say that. Let's see what Rashi says. Rashi is when I gave it by Shabbat Pruta, by Loshon Chalipin is out. The only way it works when I give it the Teras Loshon of Kiche Kesef. Why Rashi says the Teras Loshon? It should have said, when I give it Loshon Chalipin, it's no good. When I give it Loshon Kiddushin, it's good. Rashi didn't say that. Why use Torah again? Why Teras Loshon? Must be that Kesef, it's another Torah, it's another type of kinyan. Because Kesef, it's Shavyus, and Chalipin is a kinyan. So when I give Chalipin less than Shabbat Pruta, it's a kinyan. That is definitely not Kesef. When Chalipin is Shaveh Kesef, so how do I know what I'm giving it for? I'm giving it for the sake of payment, for the sake of a Maisa kinyan. So he says, when I say Loshon Chalipin, means I gave it the Teras Maisa kinyan. When I gave it the Loshon Kesef, it shows that it gives another Torah. Is that Kesef? Is that Chalipin rather? Is it Piroim? So Rashi says, that's why he used Loshon Teras Loshon. He says, Ve'ein Adeyoiv Teras Loshon kinyan. He didn't say to you, give you a Loshon kinyan of Kiddushin. Because he wants to tell you that when I give a Loshon kinyan Kiddushin, it's another Torah. It's another type of Chetz of a kinyan. It's not a kinyan, it's a Piroim. That's why Rashi had to say Teras Loshon. Should say Loshon. Adeyoiv Loshon kinyan Kiddushin.
The Loshon makes it, the big kid is
But if it's both a kinyan, so the only difference in the Loshon, this Loshon reminds Bizoyor, because as a dini, Loshon Pruta, and this, but really in the mahut of the Chetz of the kinyan, both are the same mahut. This is a Maisa kinyan, this is a Maisa kinyan. But if the mahut are different, then this is a Chalipin is a Maisa kinyan, in case of as Shavius, as value, as a Piroim, right? So when I give a Kli Shabbat Pruta, I have two ways how to use it. Use it as a Maisa kinyan, which is going to be Chalipin, or use it as a payment, which is Kiddushin. So now, it's not only a matter of language, there's also the language turns it to another machinery, right? So when Rashi says, when I give a film Kli Shabbat Pruta, if I give it a language of Chalipin, it won't work. Until Yoivlo with a Teras Loshon kinyan. Because when I give it in a kinyan of Kiddushin, Kesef, it's another Torah. It's not the same kinyan, but just the language makes another kinyan with different dinim, rather different mahut. That's why it says Teras kinyan. He didn't say by Chalipin. Yes. But it tells you there's two Torahs. There's not only two dinim, two Torahs. One is a payment and one is a kinyan. Yes. I'm saying otherwise is that the Loshon is miyutam. Rashi is very meduya.
He said the kasha, the Loshon is, but the answer is not Mr. I don't get the answer. I don't get the answer.
I remember that about Chalipin.
Yes.
There is a deal.
Yes.
The Chalipin, the Sudar,
Yes.
goes to the buyer, goes to, he has to give it back.
Yes.
True?
Yes.
Is it true? So the
Chalipin, who gives the Chalipin? The Kelef Shel Kohen or Kelef Shel Mayim?
Yeah. So maybe there is no right, but we say the right has to say Toilas, the Toilas.
Yes.
She's never.
Share Yom Chamishi.
Even if it's not a brutal.
One second. Huh? What do you ask? 1 second. Yom Chamishi have a problem. I have a siyum of 20 guys finishing Masechet Avodah Zarah 4 times. And Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, the chief rabbi of Israel, is coming. The former chief rabbi of Israel is coming to the siyum. It's gonna be at 12:15. So I can teach early. I will teach 11 till 12. Then when I go to the scenes, it'll be a shiur early.
Until
Yom
the and no issue.
The blessing is, but I need a bathroom. The Shlomo say Kaddish instead of. I'm sorry, Prince. I need a bathroom.
Had it off.
Isador, Isalem, Isalosh, Medic Chobi, and I'll become a Kosovo, Shosodi, Kosovo, Mosoda, no more, woman, and Israel, and I want to be known to be Sabidoi. A Komodoski, my Savas, Polish, and Savasa, Ela Hoshobra, Bohi, no His, no Rachani, Mushmava, woman, Eshabora, Mushmava, saving woman, or give them all the same woman. Thank you. But that's with yourself is not. I think it's good, but some people, a lot of people don't need it. Me, I eat it. Supporting it. I like better. I said, I like yourself, but that's. I eat it. I eat it. Yes, me, my wife. But a lot of people, I tell you, I eat it. I hold a Yitzchak. He goes, I'm eating the He said, no. A lot of people have a problem with swallowing. A lot of people, when I eat, what I eat.
Hi.